What's on your little mind?
Please don't call me.
The camera's rolling, you know. House Democrats are considering putting forth a $2.4 trillion package. The White House in the past has talked about 1.5. Can you just sort of give us a lay of the land from the White House perspective, with Democrats talking about?
Best thing I can say to you is, and I spoke to Secretary Mnuchin a little while ago, there's a lot of conversations, which is good, but there's no agreement yet. I can't give you a number. Look, our view continues to be very simple, straightforward. We want some targeted assistance plans. Amongst them, most prominently, K through 12 education help to deal with COVID, equipment, testing, things of that sort, whatever infrastructure the schools need. We've always said that, $105 billion. We'd love to see an extension of the small business PPP loans. There is money sloshing around. $130 billion could be repurposed right away with some legislation. Excuse me. And there are other, NICS and NACs. We'd like to see some legislated unemployment assistance, but we don't want to see $3 trillion or $2.5 trillion. I'd like to say we're making great progress, but I can't yet. I can't get ahead of that curve. It's not happening. They are talking, though. The CR, yes. CR will be passed hopefully in the Senate on Wednesday, so there'll be no government shutdown, and it'll be a clean CR. Once again, I will say, though, the V-shaped recovery does not rely on some massive stimulus package. People talk about that. I don't buy into it. The unemployment claims, the weekly claims looked a little soft, although the trend line is down unmistakably. There's a lot of fraud in those numbers coming out of California by their own Labor Department people. They're just having difficulty. Continuing claims that are actually paid are down significantly each of the last many weeks. So I'm not looking for any let up in the V-shaped recovery.
Apparently there's going to be money for the airlines and another round of direct payments in the Democrats' plan. Does that make it more attractive or more possible for something to get done?
The president favors more assistance to the airlines, and the president also favors an additional tranche of the direct mail checks. He favors that.
So Larry, you said that you don't feel like it's necessary for the V-shaped recovery. How badly does the White House want a deal, and are you at all surprised that Speaker Pelosi is coming back with a new legislative bill?
Well, nothing surprises me anymore. We're talking. That's all I can tell you. I don't want to be specific. We're talking. I guess that's better than not talking.
1,200 stimulus check.
Sorry?
1,200 stimulus check. When can we deliver the next? The end of this is September or October?
1,200.
The stimulus check.
Yeah.
Is it coming in September?
I just can't predict. I mean, there's no deal yet. So there's no there. So I don't want to put any numbers or timelines. The conversations are going on. If the Democrats come back with a plan that's more palatable to our thinking, that would be fine. We'll let the president decide on that. As I said, he does favor the direct checks. He'd like to see some unemployment assistance. He'd like to see the PPP extension. There's money's out there. He'd like to see the schools. We've always said, kids and jobs. Those are our key things. We don't need a lot of stuff about non-COVID related things.
What's your reaction, Larry?
About the vaccines, how is that going to be paid for with a million-man army to implement it? How is that in the budget?
How's it going to what?
How is it in the budget with the vaccine, with the million-man army to implement the vaccine?
Look,
how is that going to be paid for?
I don't want to get ahead of that story. If and when the vaccines are developed, if the Safe Review Board gives the okay, we already have a number of distribution plans in mind, and the federal government will generously finance everything to keep Americans healthy. Now, the president has said that, and this is so very important. But again, I'm totally non-specific on that right now. No forecast, no nothing. It's starting to rain, kids.
The job numbers, Larry, from yesterday. Unemployment claims have kind of stagnated at a high level.
Yeah, be careful on that. We're in touch with California. California is the big hitter there. Their people are telling us, their labor department people, that there's enormous fraud and bad counting in the Cal numbers. They're trying to sort through it. So I don't think those are as reliable. Now the 4-week trend is still way down. You know what's a better measure is the continuing claims, actual payments. You understand one's an application, the other's a payment. The actual payments, called continuing claims, dropped sharply this past week and has been dropping sharply in recent weeks. And the insured unemployment rate continues to come down. So I think that will lead us to a pretty good September number.
Larry, can I ask you one about the airlines? One more, do you mind? Just because layoffs are expected on
The
Thursday.
president has said several times he favors additional assistance to the airlines.
I guess what I'm asking you, any sort of executive actions between now and Thursday so that those layoffs don't occur?
We'll have to wait on that. I don't want to get ahead of that curve. You know, a lot of this has to do with appropriations and so forth.